Great. We are online. Hello, Vlad.
Excellent. Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm also going to start my local recording. Hopefully we
Yeah, sure,
can we can then combine them to see
sure,
whether we get a
sure.
better audio quality from my
Yes.
side as well.
Unfortunately, we've lost the connection to LinkedIn. Give me a second. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. And once again, I do apologize. We've had a connectivity issue. I hope this is now completely resolved. Now we're struggling a bit with LinkedIn, trying to get it actually to streamline this podcast. Please give me a second. Okay, let me see if this is working. Okay, I hope this is working. Maybe if you allow me just one quick check to verify that this is indeed working correctly. Vlad, I'm really sorry to keep you waiting. I just
No
need 1
worries.
minute. Yes, it seems we are indeed live, even on LinkedIn. That's great. Vlad, hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for having me,
A
and I'm
pleasure.
looking forward to it.
A pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much for being here. Maybe we should start by apologizing. I should start by apologizing for what happened the first time that we had you on this show. I suddenly lost power. And this had never ever happened here before. So apologies for that. But what a great day to have you with us today. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, for anyone, if by any chance you still do not know Vlad, then I'm really surprised. If you've ever tuned a database or optimized a Java application, then you probably already know the name of Vlad Mihalcea. Vlad isn't just an expert, he is the Java champion. He has literally wrote the book on high performance persistence, and hence the name of the company where he's CTO now. He has a career spanning over 20 years and a legacy that includes literally revolutionizing communication for Red Hat's Hibernate team. He has reached a level of technical mastery that few has have ever achieved. And maybe this is why you see so many people coming forward to attend any speech that Vlad is sharing or to buy his books. For every Java fan, architect, or aspiring leader, today's event is something you should never miss. I don't want to make a long introduction. Vlad is very well known for what he does, and I would like to start with the first question, and that is, Vlad, you've been in tech for 20 years now. What is the biggest lesson that you have learned about people?
About people.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I think that that's a very good question because I had a discussion with a friend of mine some time ago, and I believe that the success of a given project, or at least every project I worked on, and it ended up to be a success. It always had to do with the people and also the teamwork. So in the
Mm-hmm.
end, it doesn't really matter what technologies you are using. It doesn't matter what tools you are using because now everybody's so hyped about AI. And in reality, the secret ingredient for success is just to have a good chemistry, to share knowledge, to have a really good culture of trustworthiness in between each individual that form the team. I think that's and it's very strange that people don't they always take this for granted when in reality it's not very easy to get a really good team to collaborate neatly together, and everyone always tries to jump to the next thing that will come and save their and increase their productivity. And it could be anything, like it was internet, agile, now it's AI. Everyone thinks that there's something magical out there that will come and change things which are inherent to you and they are so fundamental in your company. Well, in reality, you have to look inside, you have to look inward and not outward to if you want to get success in the end. So yeah, I think that it's always the people. I mean, if you don't have the right team, if you don't collaborate, if there are, like, for instance, in large companies, I think there's very common, you see a lot of politics, you see a lot of games that are played, and then people ask, why aren't we productive? Yeah, well, maybe because of that.
I 100% agree with you. And actually, I would like to add to what you said. A lot of people say, like, when this or that happens, then I would be able to achieve this or that. But like all the time, they're waiting for something to happen. And most of the time, exactly as you said, they're not looking inside, they're looking outside. Like
Exactly,
when
yeah.
I find the right partner, when I get the right job, when I have this amount of money. And in that, tell me please about your experience as a developer advocate at Red Hat.
Hmm.
You had to revolutionize communication for a community of millions and millions of people. How, without that high position, did you lead a group of people who don't report to you and who
Yes,
aren't afraid to tell you that you are wrong, but you still managed to lead them? Tell us, please,
yes.
how you led without having executive authority on this group of people.
Well, the thing is that when I started, I had no idea what I was doing, and nobody knew what being a developer advocate really meant. If you go back in time, like 1 decade ago, everyone was publishing blog posts about what does a developer advocate does, what does it do, and what should it do. But because no one knew what a developer advocate should do, and in a way, it goes back and it relates to my previous answer, because you are not really like leading the community, because the community doesn't need to be led. Actually, the community just needs support. It just needs to have you just need to remove obstacles for them, and they will flourish. And it happens the same, it's the same in the company, it's the same with the community of users for a very popular project. And that's exactly what we did. We realized that the documentation was outdated, so we just rewrote it. We realized that the forum was not getting enough traction, so invested more on the forum. We answered more questions on Stack Overflow. We tried to be more active on social media. We went to conference to show people best practices, to talk to them, to see, to gather feedback, what are their pain points, what they don't like, and then so that we can address it. So in the end, it's just you have to listen a lot. People, when they think about a leader, they think about there's someone who knows everything and they will do the right thing, but it's not like that, really. I mean, a great leader should just listen to what people are saying, because it has been demonstrated that the more people you have, the more that the average consensus is better than whatever idea you might think you have. You can, like,
Yes.
you can be the smartest person, but then it's like the crowd wisdom in the end. It's much better than what you can what you can come with. You just have to listen, and then you just have to support them. And in the end, I think that's what we did, and I think it worked really well. I'm not sure if that's what we were supposed to do, because no one told us. There was no job description for the role. So in the end, yeah, we tried to do that. And I think that we didn't follow like a strict procedure. It was just a lot of common sense. We just followed our common sense, and I think it worked.
Your common sense must be really very good and fascinating and interesting. And maybe this is why you got the title of the most interesting developer, right?
Well, yeah, that's I would say, yeah, that was from Jelastic. I think they were bought sometime, and I don't remember who bought them, but they were doing they were doing like they were also had a developer advocate program, and they wanted to promote some people from the industry, and you would have to register, and then you'd say your achievements, and they might pick you or not. And they also picked me for
Yes.
one of their months because they said probably they found that what I was doing at the time was interesting to them. For me, it was important not the title itself, but the fact that I realized that I'm on the right track, and it validated that I should continue, because it was, I would say, in the very beginning, I was doing this blogging, and I was trying to do something different than my software developer job. And I realized that there is potential, because I was seeing the signs were everywhere. And that gave me confidence that there's much more to it than just a hobby. So it could be like a career switch at some point. So yeah, it was important, but it was important for me to realize that I should definitely invest more into it. It didn't bring me anything. Like when you think of an award, that it brings you something substantial. No, it didn't bring anything. Like most awards, it's basically what you did in order to get the award that really helps you, not the award in itself. I mean, you can take the award and randomly giving it to people that don't really have anything to do with it, and it will never help them in any way, because
No.
in a way, you cannot skip, the work that brings you there. And just because that a word in itself would be just superficial, and it would not work. So
Yes.
I see that these words are like milestones. So you just reach a milestone, but you're on a path. It really matters the journey you've done, more than the
Absolutely. The
what's the
journey.
milestone.
Absolutely. Actually, for a lot of things, if you think of it, for a lot of things in life,
Yeah,
there is no real goal. It's only the
exactly.
journey to what you imagine as a goal that is interesting.
Exactly, because people strive to, oh, when I retire, I'll do so many things. But why not do
Exactly.
it now? I mean, why do you have to wait so long to do something that you desire right now, when in the end the most important thing is how you're living your life? And I think I got, there was a quote from Naval Ravikant, and he said that the ultimate um, proof for intelligence is that you get out of life exactly what you wanted. I mean, it's so simple, but in itself it's so profound, because we get caught up in all sort of like uh, um,
Mundane things in life.
path, yes, and all sort of path that others have designed for us, which might not make any sense. And in the end, if you really want to get out of life what you really want, and you get it, I think that I can say that you're really, really intelligent, because you manage to do something that others, so many people actually strive for, and they fight all their
Indeed.
lives and they don't even know whether they got it in the end.
Indeed. Absolutely. But we have to admit that on top of this, you're a very hard worker. You are a very
well
hard worker.
well, yes, I mean, uh
Oh, come
there
on.
are times and times
This
there
is
are times
beautiful
and times when you
modesty on
have to
your
work a
side.
lot.
This is
When,
beautiful modesty on your side, but you are a very hard worker. I don't know three people who would dare to go to a huge project like the Hibernate and say, I'm going to rewrite the documentation from scratch.
that took quite some time, because if you take all that documentation and you generate like a PDF document, it would be like 600 pages. So it was a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
work in it. But I mean, there was no rush. I worked on it for quite some time. I think it was like 4 or 5 months or something like that. And well, of course, I was working part time, not really full time on just on that, because we were doing other things as well. But I think that there are times and periods when you have to work harder, because there is something that you really want to finish, and then there are also parts of the year when it's when there's less activity, and then it doesn't matter. You don't really have to work hard all the time. You have to work hard when it really means something, and you really want to achieve something. There's a
Yeah.
goal in mind. Otherwise, just working hard for the sake of working, I don't think
No,
that's very practical. And also you are going to burn out a lot if you do that. I mean, you can do sprints, but in the end I don't think that's feasible and sustainable. I think you have to work sufficiently most of the time, and then from time to time you might need to work harder. But I don't. I can definitely tell you that don't work like 10, 12 hours a day every day. I don't do that. I'm more I more for the long run, and I believe in compounding. I believe that things grow over time, and I believe that it's there's you cannot achieve like r- you cannot achieve greatness in a very short period of time. But if you project that for a very long for a very long period of time, I think you can get very close to what you really wanted to achieve. There was
and
also a quote. Sorry for interrupting, but there was also a
no, please
quote
go.
from Bill Gates. He said that people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and they totally underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And
Yes,
it's true.
yes, yes, yes. In in leadership, I'm just going back to the example of how you rewrote actually the whole documentation of Hibernate. When do you decide to simply patch a broken process?
Hmm.
And when do you decide to just delete everything and rewrite from zero?
Yeah, that's also a very good question because it has many nuances. But I think that if you are aligned on your goals, it's okay to patch it because if the direction is correct and you deviated, you you made a you had a bad call, you made a mistake, then it's okay to patch it. It's okay to try to get back on your path. While if you're going in the wrong direction, then you need to call it off. You need to replan or change your strategy and maybe rewrite, because in the end it's all based on the direction where you are heading, because it's impossible not to make mistakes. Sometimes you have like good ideas that work, sometimes you have some ideas that look good but they don't really work, sometimes they are bad ideas. But in the end, if you're on the right path, I think that you can keep on optimizing. And that's basically how every business, I think, is being run, not just my own business. I see that it's very difficult for everyone. You can be Microsoft, you can be Google, you can be Amazon, and you can make a lot of you can get a lot of revenue, make a lot of profit, and you still have to adapt. Uh, you still have to watch your competition. You still have to make the right calls, because otherwise you might lose everything in 5, 10, 15 years. So it's not easy. You still have to adapt and to optimize. And sometimes you have to decide, if you try something, it didn't work. There's that sunk cost fallacy, that it's you don't feel like abandoning something that you invested.
Yes,
But then when you realize that there's no future in it, then I think it's a sign of maturity, of
yes,
like I would say, both in life and also in business, where you have to say, no, let's stop. Enough resources were being spent. There's no need to spend even more resources on something that leads us nowhere. So yeah, that's how I
absolutely.
judge.
From a consultant point of view, do you know where the challenge is whenever we go actually
Hmm.
to companies and you see exactly what you mentioned, something that's completely in the wrong direction, and you say maybe we should rewrite it or we should redo it
Hmm.
from zero? That very often you have people inside who have worked on this, and for them this is their baby.
Yeah,
So they have very
exactly.
difficult
Yes.
time to accept that you're going to abandon everything they have done and we're going to
Hmm.
start from zero. Tell me, how do you manage this situation in terms of leadership?
Well, in this kind, yes, it's first of all acknowledging that this is part of who we are. Somehow we take pride in what we're building, and we get emotionally attached, especially if you're passionate about what you're doing and you like your job.
Yes.
It's very
Yeah.
hard to admit that you have to close that project and it didn't work,
Yes.
and maybe but you have to explain that you did a great job, but in the end the project, you have to have the clear picture. You have to be sincere and honest about the way that the business work, and you have to explain that if this doesn't work and we don't pivot, then we all risk of losing our jobs. In the end,
Yes.
you have to understand how the business works, and you have to make it clear for everyone. You have to say, yes, we all put effort into it. We It's hard for everyone, but in the end we have to do it, because if money doesn't come in, then we're all out of business, so we all lose
Absolutely.
everything. So sometimes it's better to tell people that it's better to lose a little than to risk of losing everything, because as a company, if you don't uh, cut the streams of where the money goes, and without coming back, then
Yes.
it's in the end, yeah, like the leaks, like
Of course, the
something like
leakage, the
that,
bleed.
then in the end the whole business will be affected. But I think that being transparent about it, and that meeting what worked, what didn't work, and then to explain for everyone, thanking everyone for doing their job, for trying, because in the end they're all in the same, the whole company is in the same boat. I mean, we all invested in the same way. I don't like that I have to cancel it, but that's it is what
I
it is.
understand. You specialize in high performance Java.
Hmm.
What does a high performance leader look like to you? Is it about
So
speed? Is it about
mhm.
the absence of errors?
I think that in a way there is like a bridge or a parallel in between optimizing optimizing a system, an application, or an
Mhm.
organization, or a
Yes, yes,
company, because
yes,
the way that you are doing in engineering, you're just removing bottlenecks, and every time, so you measure what is the current state of performance in a company, would be other metrics that you're measuring, and then you
yes,
identify several bottlenecks, and then you order them based on their importance and how much they affect those metrics. And that's
yes,
exactly how you optimize in a technical environment, and that's also how you can optimize also in a company in the same way. So you can because the principles are the same. The math behind it is not even that complicated. It's very simple to express it, but it shows that if you always address the thing that affect the most, and you remove those obstacles, then you will get better, and then you measure again, and you then check against where you want to be and where you are at the moment, and then you try to do more and more, and then in the end you just at some point you stop, because you can redirect resources to something else that brings you even more a much higher return of investment than simply optimizing the same thing over and over, while at some point you invest a lot of effort, but then it doesn't really shows in terms of productivity or anything else. So sometimes good enough, you have to understand that sometimes good enough is perfect. You don't need more than that.
yes, yes, yes. Tell me, Vlad, you are a certified Scrum Master. You have led complex projects like the Fleet Logis under very, very tight schedules. Is Scrum a tool for empowerment, or is it often used as a micromanagement framework, but unfortunately in the wrong hands?
Um, so yes, I have a Scrum. I think that one had like a limited time. So at this point, I don't even know whether I'm certified or not. But at some point, I was definitely certified, which was funny because in the end, if you know what you're doing there, though you don't really need the certification to tell you if you've been doing that for like 10 years. Then you don't really need a certification to tell you whether that you know it or not. So I think that what was difficult at the time, because I think this is a very good discussion. At the time, the industry wanted to pivot towards agile, but agile is more like philosophy, you know, it's a methodology, while scrum was more was a framework, was it had rules, and it allowed you to it has something that was palpable, you could do it. And I think for that I would have to share something to share on my screen, or I can give you a link there, and then you can show it. I think it's I've learned about it in a book about designing or a system thinking, about building a system thinking mindset, and it was
Hmm.
explained there. And then I went back and I realized that, oh, this is so true. It was a very good explanation to some things which I was only trying to guess why they work in this way. But it's are you familiar with the iceberg model? The iceberg model.
No, please tell me about it.
So should I share it on my screen, because I can have it
Please,
in the
feel free.
browser?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So 1 second. So I can share an image, share screen. So I can share the screen. So there's this thing. So I'm not sure. Can you see it? Or oh yeah, this one.
Not
Share
yet,
this
but you
one.
should be able to share.
Yeah,
Yes,
this one. So you can see this on my
yes,
screen.
yes, yes,
Okay. So
yes,
this is
yes,
the iceberg model, and I think it's important to understand what it is, because what we see the things that we see are only events. They are only the things that um, happen for a reason. But and most of the time we try to react to the events without going deeper. But when we go deeper, we see that those events, those situations, like for what event would be for agile or scrum, like you failed to deliver, you had bugs, you have complaints from the
yes,
client, you never miss, you always miss your targets, the clients are complaining, and then they are leaving, and they are going to the competition. So those would be events. And then when you see, you have to go a little bit deeper, and you see that there are all sorts of patterns and trends that leads to those events. But those patterns happen because the structures that you build, structures, and that would be scrum, and the way that you are organizing generate some patterns, which based on how you're doing your job, it will generate the events. But the most difficult part is that to have those structures in place, you need to have the mindset, the mental model. And that was the most difficult thing about agile, because in order, and it was very well explained, but without having the mindset, it's very difficult to build the right structures, and then to follow the patterns, and then to get the right outcome of it. So this is the iceberg model, and it works for agile, for scrum. It explains why you have problems in large corporations, in companies, in all sorts of things. So once you understand, once you see it how it works, it makes I think it makes a lot of sense. So
yes,
yeah, that's
yes. Thank you
so I
very
think
much
it
for
applies
sharing
also
this.
to agile and scrum. So in a way, agile was the mindset, and scrum was trying to build a structure and to have the patterns. And then you would see at the end of the sprint, you would see the events, whether
Yes,
you are delivering what the client wants to deliver, you are building the right project. And I think that's the way I'm seeing it. I hope that I asked the question.
it was pretty clear. We have a comment from a friend. So we have a friend actually who has made a
Okay.
comment. I'll put it on the screen for the benefit of
Mm-hmm.
everybody. So Rodolfo Vilagos is saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Working smart is no one want to work hard or harder."
Mm-hmm.
What do
Yeah,
you think of
that's
this?
correct. And it's correct in a way. And it goes back to what I was saying, that I'm not really working hard all the time. I think
Yes,
I'm working hard only when I see that I have to work hard in order to finish something in time, because otherwise, if I don't do it, I know that I would always find excuses, and I will never finish it. So sometimes you have to pedal a little bit, a little harder. But I don't think that you have to do it all the time. Also, if you're
yes,
always stressed, if you're always focused and always working hard, you lose the big picture.
yes,
AI passes right right next to you and you don't even realize. Everyone moves in the other direction, and then all of a sudden you see, hey, where's everybody? So yeah,
What
you
happened?
what happened? And you have to, you always have to uh, do a little bit of an introspection. You always have to think about not only what am I doing, is this still relevant, is
Yes,
there something else that I should be
yes,
doing,
yes,
what if I'm missing something, what you always have to explore other things and to give them time, and you also have to allow yourself to have some time just to think. And I had this issue. I was at the company and I was telling one of my colleagues, man, the everyone here is working so hard that I don't have time to think anymore, and that's very
yes,
concerning because I need to have time to think, because otherwise I don't know, I cannot judge whether we're doing the right thing or not. And I
yeah,
think at least at my company I always allow myself to have the time to think and to reason about not what I'm doing, but also what others are doing, whether something AI is useful, when it's useful, why it's useful, where I could use it. Should I try something else? Should I try to, I don't know, if I see someone doing something very interesting, maybe there is something more related. Maybe we could do like a business partnership there and try to dig more into that thing. If you don't have the time to allow yourself to think about all those things, if you're always uh, being in a rush and always being stressed about deadlines and all sorts of things, I think you are going to miss a lot, not only in your business but in life as well. I think that uh, there's also a quote from who I don't remember who said it, but it um, he was a he was a poet. He said that I think it's Oliver, that
please.
Irish poet, Oliver Twist or something like that. He said that everything in moderation, including moderation. So, so I think it boils down to exactly what I'm saying. So you should have, like, most of the time you should strive for moderation, but from time to time you need to work harder. So just from time
Yes,
to time you need to pedal a little bit harder, but not every time, not all day
yes,
long. Yeah.
yes, yes. Thank you very much for this, Vlad. Now I want to talk about something, but I very much actually would be hopeful that you and the public actually would understand me. So I'm not criticizing, but I'm trying to understand. On your profile, you list marketing alongside software architect. And this is for me surprising because usually those are two very, very different roles. Why should
Yeah,
a CTO like yourself care about marketing as much as they care about their tech stack?
That's uh that's a good question, and it also, right from the start, I have to say that there are many flavors of CTOs, because in the end it's just a role that supports other parts of the company as well. And in my case, I found it to be important because I'm also running my own company. So when you're running your own company and you strive to provide quality, you want to create high quality products. I have a product called Hypersistence Optimizer. I want it to be high quality. I create courses. I wrote the book. I don't want it to be bad quality, because that will leave a bad impression in the long run. So I'm very sensitive about what quality I provide to everyone who wants to pay for a product that I'm
Yeah,
delivering. But you can build the best product if no one knows about it. If you're the only one who knows
yeah,
about it, what
yeah.
was the point? I mean, if
Pointless.
marketing is extremely important and people don't realize uh, about its importance because there's someone else taking care of it in other companies.
Yes,
If you're working in a very successful company, let's say Apple, you're working for Apple and you're doing your job as a software developer or maybe as a designer. So you're doing a really good job, but then you don't realize that there are a lot of other people supporting you: legal, marketing, sales. Without them, you wouldn't be so successful and your
yes,
work wouldn't be so impactful. So I realized it because for me, it was very important to know about marketing, because otherwise no one, I wouldn't be able to reach people. I wouldn't be able to find the audience who is interested in my products. Because if I if I'm s- if I invest 8 months to create an 8-hour video course, should I stumble upon marketing and then do a poor job trying to promote it? I mean, that would be a waste of a waste of
Of course,
time. I
of course.
invested so much time creating something that I'm proud of, and now no one knows about it, and I'm not going to do anything about it. So I should be
Yes,
there. I should be there trying harder. I should tell people about it. And when you, I think that people, even if you're a little bit pushy sometime, I think people will be forgiving, will forgive you if you provide good quality. So
yes,
if you're insisting, but in the end they give it a try, and they see that, well, this is good, this is good, this is actually good, they will forgive you about being a little bit too pushy. The problem is being too pushy but also promoting bad stuff. That's the problem. So when you're working, when you're marketing good products or high quality products, i don't I don't see any problem with this, because it's a
yes,
natural part of how the economy works. Without
yes,
marketing, a lot of, you wouldn't have never heard about a lot of product that change your life and impact your life in a positive way.
yes,
So
yes.
that's why
Nice. Very well
that's why
said.
I mentioned it there.
Very
For
well
me, it's
said.
good.
Very well said. Okay. Vlad, you remember what we mentioned earlier? A lot of people say, the day I have this, the day I have that, I will do this.
Yeah,
I and similar to this, a lot of people like the day I managed to go to the US, the day I go to New York, the day I am in Silicon Valley, I would do this or that.
exactly.
A global brand from Cluj in Romania.
Romania, yeah.
Yeah, and Cluj. I mean, this is not.
Inclusion, yeah.
This is really Cluj. I mean, I've been. I know what Cluj is. What is one thing about the tech talent or leadership style in Eastern Europe that the rest of the world is completely sleeping on?
Well, everyone, when you are like when you're in a country, everyone believes that they are the greatest, at least in Eastern Europe. If you go to a country in Eastern Europe, everyone is the greatest, whether they are cooking dinner or driving on the road. There was also a survey asking men about their driving skills, and 90% said that they're above average. Which is funny because only 50% can be above average, but 90% thought that they are above average. So yes, I think that we that I would say, I will be very blunt about it. In Eastern Europe, there was talent, but then there's everywhere there is talent. There was talent, and there was like good value. So you had good value for the price.
Yeah.
It's not like here you had people who are way smarter than people in other parts of the world. That's not true. So it was, from an economic point of view, it was advantageous because you would pay less but you would get good value out of the money. Another
Yes.
advantage was the fact that people were um, we're doing pretty well with foreign languages. People speak usually English and French, or English and German, or English
Yes.
and Italian. Some people speak also Spanish. Some people
Yes.
are native Hungarians or native Germans who they grew up here in Transylvania. And I
Yes.
think that those were some advantages. In my case, I didn't want to go somewhere else. It would have been easier. Going to somewhere in Central Europe would have been easier because the companies I usually do trainings for or do consultings, they are usually located in around that German, Switzerland, Austria, Scandinavia part. So if you are like in the center, like in Germany, you are very close to all these places. So it's very logistically, it's very easy. So
Yes.
probably to have been better, but then I grew up here. I like here. Uh, I didn't see any reason to go. My business was international. I only needed a computer and a connection to the internet. I could do the same thing from home and from other parts of the world. I could set my own prices. I didn't have to raise prices because I go to a different country, or lower the prices because I live in Romania. So I set the price that I believe that should be captures the value that you get from it, and I think it works. But I was lucky because of the internet. That I was lucky because of that. Because otherwise, without
Yes.
the internet, without the digital economy,
Yes.
I I would have to play based on the same rules that everyone plays, where the
Yes.
geographical factor plays a very
Yes.
important role, and
Yes.
that's the reality of life.
Absolutely. If only our great grandparents could see how we're living today,
Yes,
what would they say?
everywhere and everywhere. Not
Yes.
only in, like, in most of the world, I would say,
Yes.
um, lives better now than, not everywhere, but the vast majority of countries. I think
Yes.
they live better than 100, 200. At least there, at, at least I would say there are some. Um, Even politically and economically, there are some things that keep the world more in balance than before, and there's more effort trying to get a good balance in the world among countries than it was before, when, like, 200 years ago, no one there was more chaos and violence and disease and
Yes.
many other things which
Yes.
now we
Yes.
take for granted.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Um, you're currently working for a PhD while running your own company. So first of all, welcome to the club.
Thank you very much.
Begin, how does the slow, methodical pace of academic research coexist with the fast moving world of the tech entrepreneur?
Well, in a way, the way that I worked for my book, the way I was approaching the blog post and the presentations I was giving, it's the same approach you would do it for a scientific article. Of course, there are also some differences, but in the end, if you enjoy doing that, if you enjoy doing research, no matter what you researched for and what was the final product that presented that the outcome of that research, was it a conference presentation, was it a book, was it a blog, was it a, I don't know, uh, something that you fixed for a company that you are doing consulting and you did the research to fix something. And in a way, it's the same process, and I wanted to do it even after I graduated school, but it was not financially feasible at the time to do it, because staying in the university and doing that was very was not paid well. And at the time, I needed, money is important when you don't have it. So I needed the money because I didn't have it. So because I needed to buy to buy my own place and to start a family. So I realized that I cannot do that at the time. So I was lucky because the IT industry was getting good traction, and there were very good paying jobs.
Yeah.
So it was an offer that was very difficult to refuse, to work in the IT
Yes.
industry. So I couldn't do both of them at the time, but now I can do both of them, because now the difference is that now I'm running my own business, so I can allocate time. I don't have to ask anyone to give me permission to do it, because I can do it. I can allocate my own time,
Yeah.
so now I can do it. And also I think that it's better now because I have much more experience, so I see from the quality of the research that I'm doing now, and I'm thinking how I would have done it like 20 years ago. I don't think
Mm.
that there are so many things that you cannot just read them from books. You have to build projects. You have to understand more. There are other things that you don't even read from books. You have
Yes.
to do it. You have to experience. Have to live things in order to get some. not just knowledge but like wisdom. Why is this really important, or is just like a theoretical concept that looks
Yeah,
very good on paper, but then in reality it's completely useless because you know that no one would use it. I mean, it looks great like as a mathematical function, but then who will use that? It's not practical.
yeah,
So I think that in a way it's there's also a good there's also a positive part of doing it now.
sure.
Also, there's no rush on my side. I mean, I will follow the schedule, but also I don't have like a very clear goal about it because I'm doing it for the things that I also researched. So I will just continue the things that I've been doing. So for me, finalizing that for me it's great. It's not like I'm um, if I don't get like a teacher post, that would be a waste of my time. No, it's not really like
Gotcha.
that. I'm doing it for
Vlad, I
the
can't tell you how lucky you are. Look who is here. Look who has joined
hello,
us.
nice to
Hi,
meet you.
Vlad. So nice to meet you. Hi, Mark. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you. Thank you
Look, we
for
should
being
start
here.
from the beginning now.
Yes.
No,
I
actually,
just listened a little bit to what you were saying. So first of all, I didn't
we
mean
can't
to
hear you, Beloved.
interrupt.
Yes.
Oh,
Please come closer. I think you're not using this
Yeah.
microphone. You're using the microphone on your lap.
I'm very
But
sorry.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yes.
Just keep close and you can
Okay.
talk.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I was
as you're
just
just,
listening
yeah, go ahead.
to what you were saying, Vlad. I certainly didn't mean to interrupt. It was so interesting to see when you were talking about your entrepreneurship, a smile came on your face to be
Yeah.
in the autonomy of time allocation and so on. So I was wondering what made you become an entrepreneur?
Hmm?
Uh, yeah, that's a very good question. I decided to become an entrepreneur when when my son was born, my second child, which normally is the worst period in your life to not have stability. So it's very reckless to do it like that. But I needed to have more. I realized we talked about this in this podcast. There were all sort of signs telling me that I'm on the right path. So I said that I should definitely give it a try because I have a feeling that this will work, and I did it, and it worked in ways that I couldn't envision at the time, but it worked. So I only had to jump on the right path and just go, just walk on that path. And in the end, yes, it gave me a lot of freedom. It was also good from a financial perspective, but it also gave me a lot of freedom of living the life the way that I want to live my life. And also, at I was at some time I was working for a company, but I worked for a short time because we were not aligned there. And I remember when I was working there, I was going every day to the office, and I was also I remembered a quote again from Naval Ravikant, and Naval said, like, it was in like 9 years ago, and he said that a taste of freedom can make you unemployable, and it's so
Yes,
true.
I so much agree.
Exactly.
Yesterday, someone suggested a job to me, and I said, it's too late. I'm totally unemployable.
Yes, I cannot go back there. I can
Yeah,
I can do it. So yes, it's
absolutely.
once you get used to that, once you get used to once you see that you can do you see the value, and then you can work on it, and then you get a good outcome of it, and then you don't have to ask permission to do something that you know that will work, and you don't have to play a political game to get approval for and to do other things in order to do that. You realize that, yeah, there's a much more efficient way to ways to achieve what I want, so I don't want to go back there.
Yeah. And in the beginning, what was the biggest fear or took the biggest amount of courage to jump into entrepreneurship?
I don't think I had uh, a fear about it because I knew that if it didn't work, I would just go back and just
Mhm.
resume my job. I'll just talk to the company I was working for, and they would be glad to for me to come back. They told me that if you change your mind, you can always come back because I told them that I want to pursue that. There was not a problem with the company itself. We had a great time there, and I knew that I could come back, but then I realized that I wanted something which was different, and it's impossible to get it in a company. There was no company that could provide me with the thing that I wanted to pursue at the time. I realized that the only way I could do it is if I do it if I'm doing it by myself. So, and then
And
when I
that's been
just
how many years now?
well, it's going to be like 11 years this September.
Okay, great. So, what have I missed on the podcast that you haven't shared with the public so far? I have so many
Uh,
questions for you, but I don't want to double everything and start all over again. What
well,
haven't you
so we talk.
addressed yet?
Yeah, we talk about all sorts of things. We talk a lot about teams, about leadership, about how you what is a good way to lead a community or to do leadership in a company. We talk about the iceberg model. We talk about agile. We talk about all sorts of things. But if you have a
Mm-hmm.
question, don't worry about it because we can. It's definitely not going to be the same thing that was answered
Yes.
before.
I just come out of a leadership masterclass, and this was mainly on AI, on the
Oh,
use
nice.
of AI, on learning
Mhm.
AI for the directors. And they shared in the feedback that some came with some hesitation, maybe not fear, but not very secure because they were
Mhm.
not very experienced, not all of them, and leave very happily because they have practiced a lot and got good access to the topic. So, as you are very knowledgeable in this technical stuff, how do you onboard people who are maybe not from the so deep dive in technical things to take the fear to do it a bit playful, or how do you do that?
And in the context of AI or without AI? In this
Generally, like
generally.
technical topics for people who maybe are not so familiar with it, to lose the fear, to find the
Mhm.
joy, to try it, to
Ex-
understand it, to learn.
Yeah, I think this correlates a lot with the current state because these feelings that you told me about the people that were you talked about you talked with. Um, I also saw it. I also saw this with senior developers who didn't want to try AI because they have a good knowledge, they have the skills, so they didn't see the reason. Some of them were also afraid because by using it and encouraging people to use it, they fear that they might lose their edge. And it's because for if you're
Hmm.
trying, there are all sorts of models, but Claude Code with Opus, it's really good. I mean, it was nice for like several years, but since December, it became really frightening good. It's amazing what you can do with it, and people when they try it, they are they have very mixed feelings because in a way you can achieve a lot, but then you realize that many of your skills and the knowledge that you previously had, you can no longer gatekeep it. You can no longer keep it behind a gate, or it's not previously you would get access to that knowledge by hiring someone who had the knowledge, but now you can just use AI and you'll get very close to. And people say, yeah, but the AI is not an expert, but the AI, it has a huge amount of data it was trained on. And it basically in AI it's called regression to the mean. Like in finance it's the same, when you have a lot of data, but the average is not that bad. The average actually is really good because people don't realize that if you get like average answers out of some topic, that's not even bad because you discard like 50% of bad outcomes, and now you can really optimize it. So and for people, yeah, this could be frightening, but the thing is that no one at this point, no one knows. If someone tells you, I have a solution for you, they don't have a solution for you. No one knows for sure at the moment. Everyone is experimenting, they are trying to adapt. So I'm very honest about it. I can tell you that we are now in the process of learning how to get the best out of it. I'm using it every day. I'm trying to find new ways. I'm surprised that it can do things that I try to give it work that I don't even know whether it will work or not. And sometimes not only that it does the job, but it does an incredible job. And at first I wouldn't even believe that it will manage to do it, but it does. Yeah, and it
Mhm.
works. So I think at this point we just have to be honest that we need to adapt. And if we are afraid that the future will look different, it will definitely look different. The moment
Yes.
you accept that, I think it's much better, because now you can focus and try to stay in the game, to be relevant. And I also believe that uh, there was a book from Morgan Housel. You know Morgan Housel, the author. He wrote The Psychology of Money, but he has many
Mm,
other
ah,
books.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And but the Psychology of Money is like a bestseller. I mean, you can find it everywhere, in like even at the
Yes.
airport. I think you can you
Yeah.
can find
I
it.
read it.
And
I read it. Yes.
yes, and he also wrote another book called Same as Ever. And in Same as Ever, he tells that a lot of people always try to focus on things that are different, like AI now, things that are going to change everything. But in reality, it's not like that. A lot of things always stay the same. If we go back like thousands of years ago, and you read like philosophical books from great philosophers, you realize how this is so relevant. And we, as like a human brain, we haven't changed a lot. And people like 3,000 years ago were just as smart as we were, and from like the ideas they had, they are still extremely relevant. Maybe they have even more clarity back then than we have now,
Mhm.
because it's very hard to
Mhm.
focus. But a lot of things will not really change in between people. The way we're doing business, the way the trust will not change. You are still going to do business with the people you are trust. You are still going to do good business with people. You can form a very good team, and you have good interactions no matter what tool you're using. You can have the best AI model. If you're working in the wrong company, you shouldn't expect a great outcome. I mean,
Yes.
there are a lot of other things that will also leverage your success, not just AI. So I think that some things will change, but they've always changed. They've always changed. It's never the same.
Mhm.
People forget how things were like 10, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have mobile, we didn't have social media. People forget how
Yes.
different things were. So we always had to keep on adapting and trying to stay relevant, and trying to find good ways of the tools that we are provided.
It's definitely a very exciting time to live in, I think,
Exactly. Yeah,
because
it's
it's
it
it's
is.
also a big change. And there's people who are afraid that all the jobs will go
No,
away, they will lose it, and others are more on the side, like as you say, all of these big moments of change have always created new jobs, new opportunities.
that's
Um,
correct. And I think that for us, it's very hard to envision how the world will change, because the world has so many variables. It's very hard to think about it and to see how things will change. But then in time we had all sort of technological advancement, but people are still working. I mean, like 100, 200 years ago, 95% of the population was working in agriculture, doing manual
yes,
labor. And now only like 1 or 2% probably do that. But people, it's not like 98% of the people don't have anything left to do.
yes,
There's a lot of things that can be done. There are also a lot of jobs that cannot benefit from AI, because they imply some manual labor, and you cannot optimize that using AI. And there are also a lot of things that, okay, you have a tool that can help you build faster, but that's just part of the problem. I mean, building fast is nice because you reduce costs, but doesn't guarantee you that you are building the product that the clients want, that you are going to promote it properly, that the clients will enjoy it over the competition. There are so many other variables that AI will not help you with. And when
Yes.
everyone uses AI, there's no advantage anymore. I mean, everyone will do that. So you are going to compete on other things. So you are going to compete on the things that never change, actually. And we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, which people always take for granted, and nobody almost has it. Like trust, having great teamwork, being nice to your colleagues, sharing knowledge. Everyone will agree, wow, that's great. We would like to do
Mm-hmm.
that, but that's very rare. Very rarely you
Mm-hmm.
get to see people actually doing it. And those are the people who do that. They will definitely succeed in the future, with or without AI. And others
Mm-hmm.
who have other problems, I'm not sure that AI is going to be the answer for them.
But I would maybe right
Whoa.
up. I would maybe like to ask you one last question. Um, the recent book that Mark and I wrote together is on how leadership changes in times of intelligent machines.
Hmm.
So, away from everything that is technical, that is AI itself, but how does this affect leaders? How does it affect the job of a leader to bring people into this transition, to keep generations together, to,
Hmm.
some people, what I hear in my coachings and seminars, they say, "Yeah, but what is my role in the future if AI can do this and robots can do that and machines are taking decisions? What is my role in the future?" So, do you have some ideas you can exchange with us on the impact of the role change in leadership?
Hmm. So I think that in relation to the roles, that let's say that the roles we had even before AI, they were defined for a reason. So there was a reason behind the role. So we created the hierarchies in companies because a person cannot talk with 100 people, so we needed to have a hierarchy. So there was a purpose behind it, and then you define the you define the team based on how it's efficient for humans to communicate. In the end, I think that as a company, ev- I would say that you can describe a good company, that a company that works or doesn't work, from the way that the information flows in between inside the company. And I think that with AI, again, I don't think that it will change everything radically, because we know that from the science behind it, we know that it's not something that is predictable. And in a way, we've been experiencing this for a very long time. It's not really that people say, but it's different. It's different because it's different from a computer, but it's not different from a human, because humans are the same. They are also very unpredictable. When you work with humans, you know that it doesn't work randomly. You have to do in a certain way. You have to lead people in a certain way. And I think that will never that will not change. You will also need people to have um, to learn, to try to understand how things work, to just not rely only on AI, to try to understand and to judge and to question what AI is giving you, and to be able to reason whether something is correct or not. You'd still have to do that. And as a leader, I will try to tell people that use AI, but use it not only to speed up your work, use it also as an opportunity to learn, to explain to you. AI can give you an answer, and then you can ask AI, why why is it so? Can you explain me step by step? Just explain how you got to this answer. It also helps AI to find issues in the reasoning, and also helps you understand things that you didn't know about, and to learn new things. So you can do it like that. You
Yeah.
have to invest even more in testing. Now people, you always had to invest in testing, but previously you were lucky because people had the people didn't want to do a bad job, so they were like also somehow sometimes people feel responsible for the work they are doing, so they were trying to cover sometimes the part that they don't have enough tests. But with AI has no problem being wrong. It can do and
Yes.
doing the wrong thing. It has absolutely no shame in being
No,
wrong.
no. And it
So
seizes quite some opportunities to be wrong.
exactly. So it says, when it says something that's completely wrong, it says it with so much confidence that it's very concerning. And
Yeah.
you need to have something. Now you have to acknowledge as a leader that, okay, the game we're playing back then no longer works. We have to invest even more in quality, in tools that can bring back the determinism in the things that we're building. So we need to have a separate track that validates what we are working, and that part has nothing to do with AI. That part is it's without AI. It was designed by people. It was You can probably play with AI, try to optimize it, but the rules are defined by people, and you can use also tools that validate your work. And I think as a leader you have to explain people that, also, and always remind them that, in the end it's still a tool, and but everything else
Yes.
in the business hasn't changed. Marketing,
Yes.
what the clients want, that hasn't changed. Only things have changed. it's, I don't think that every job will be lost, because then who is going to build or support the entire industry that we've built? Not
And
everything.
as humans, we also want to have human interaction. As you said, you buy
Yes,
where you trust. And this is in many more topics, many more fields. I think there is in all branches, there's things where you want to keep things human. Although if maybe robotic AI, etc., can do the job, but
exactly.
humans want to interact with humans. That was so great, Vlad. I'm looking forward to look the first part of the podcast.
Yes,
And my
it's been
my
recorded. Yeah.
yes, and my very very last question is: will you come back so we have more time to discuss?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will come back, and I hope that the third time we have no technical issue. Every time we had some technical issue, and that's
Yeah,
nice, because we can conclude with, even we have AI now, we have AI and we can build, and we're still having technical issues to run a podcast, and we have all
it
sorts of
is.
tools that now we are at the point where we say there shouldn't be any bug left anymore, but there are. But there are
Yeah,
lots of
there's
bugs.
still a way to go.
and
Yes, I
and
thank
just
you
wrap
so
it.
much. Yeah.
There was only one thing related to what you said about humans talking to humans. It's on social media. It's the same. If you read something that was generated by AI, it doesn't have an appeal. But if you read something that was written by a human, and a reply that's also written by a human, and you have a real conversation, that
Mhm.
is what people want. They don't want to just read the same things generated by AI. It's
Yeah.
funny only for a short while. Afterwards, it's no longer funny anymore.
Same goes for sports. I think last week there was this half marathon, and the robot overcame was faster than the human by a few
Yeah.
seconds. And I thought, yeah, where is the point? I
What's the
mean,
point? Yeah.
can also be an hour faster. I cheer a human being who does an effort, who has trained, and a
Exactly.
spectator. There's an emotional
Exactly.
connection. Yeah,
Exactly.
great, great.
Great. Thank you.
Vlad, all the best. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you
See you
too.
soon.
See you soon. Have a great day.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.